Brazil out. Brazil is out of the World Cup. Another 4 years of misery, another 4 years of trauma, another 4 years of wondering what could have been. In 2014, it was Neymar's injury against Colombia. In 2018, it was Kevin De Bruyne's long distance strike. It was the Thiago Silva miss right before. 2022, it's descending numbers forward when you're up 1-0 in extra time and getting countered with a few minutes left in the game, up 1-0. And now 2026, it's Bruno Guimaraes' missed penalty. It's Casemiro's square ball that should have been played on the ground. It's Endrick's one-on-one miss. And Erling Haaland's 2 goals. More trauma, more nightmares, more devastation. Another 4 years of pain. And honestly, this Brazil team has not been good enough this whole World Cup campaign. I kind of ignored it because I had a manager and I believed in Carlo Ancelotti, who I don't think is to blame for this loss. But yeah, it just hasn't been good enough. These players are not good enough, and they got what they rightfully deserve. If you're going to go with the approach of being efficient, being reactive, being, letting the other team have the foothold and, being ruthless when the opportunities come, well, you have to be ruthless. You have to be efficient. Bruno Guimaraes missed the penalty. Endrick missed the one-on-one. When you give those sort of chances to Erling Haaland, he's going to put it home. That chance, that quarter, that's a 50-50. He shouldn't be getting his head on the ball, but he's physical, he's dominant, he's the best player in the world. You give him a half chance, he'll make it a full chance. That second goal as well. I mean, just give him a sliver piece of room. You open up your legs. Game over. Norway's into the quarterfinals. A Norway team that's never won a knockout stage game before this World Cup are in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. I'm at a loss for words. It's pure pain. Erling Haaland, he is the best player in the world. I don't want to hear it. You put Erling Haaland on France. Are they any worse? You put Mbappe on Norway. Do we really think they're going to be in the quarterfinal? I don't think so. And I definitely don't think that France team is any weaker if you replace Haaland with Mbappe. We tend to ignore Erling Haaland and these best players in the world debate. He is the best player in the world by far. Messi still can do it in moments, yes. And obviously Messi, as long as he's playing, he's the best player in the world. But amongst the rest, Erling Haaland is better than Harry Kane. He's better than Mbappe. He's better than Olise. He's better than whatever players you want to Bruno, whatever. He's better than them all. And yeah, for Brazil, another failure yet again. So a lot of people I want to blame Ancelotti for not playing Neymar, putting him in earlier. Let me debunk that right now. We were fortunate that Neymar was even in the squad. Neymar plays with like he looks like he has a 25-pound backpack. He's just not the player he was. He's broken down. And it's because what he's provided to Brazil is broken down. He suffered some big injuries playing for Brazil, including this last one that kind of put his career, wrapped up. And yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm going to get to Neymar. But Ancelotti, playing this reactive style, this is how Brazil can win a game. This is how Brazil can win a World Cup. Brazil's not going to come into this World Cup outpassing teams by 100 teams like what Spain can do, or what France, with the quality that they have, dominating teams. Brazil team is not good enough. They have individual players that are up top caliber players like Vinicius, like Rafinha, like Cunha on his right day, Bruno Guimaraes on his right day. But this is a team that can't dominate. The midfield is too weak. Defensively, they have question marks. They don't have any fullbacks that provide any value in the attack. They have one real star winner in the team, a talisman in Vinicius. There's question marks all over, so you win in individual moments, and you have to be efficient. You have to be ruthless. Erling Haaland was the one that was efficient and ruthless. Brazil, when their chances game, they weren't efficient and ruthless, so they're going home. It's devastating. It's heartbreaking, but it is what it is. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's a complete and utter failure. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words, really. There's no other way to put it. Brazil were just not good enough. Brazil were just not good enough. And yeah, and as far as Ancelotti, I'm going to come to his defense. The one thing I do blame him is he initially was reluctant to put in Endrick at the start of the World Cup. Now we give him cameos in the knockout stages against Japan, now in this game against Norway. Both games he was shocking. That Japan game, every time the ball went up to him, he was losing the ball. The ball never stuck. And in this game, missing that one-on-one opportunity. Yeah, put him on, his pace in behind, he can cause a problem. But only if he finishes his chances. And other than that, what did he do? That goal. What was he doing in the goal? What was he doing? I know he's an attacker, but your attackers are your first line of defense. He just like kind of like put his leg out, like, oh, if he passes me, he passes me. What's his name? What's his name? Puts in the cross, Spolsturm or whatever, that Norwegian guy. He puts in the cross, Erling Haaland goal. It's fine margins at this World Cup, and in the fine margins, Endrick let us down in both the Japan and in this game. So he just wasn't good enough. That's the one thing I'll blame was Ancelotti, is why he suddenly, I guess he's honestly though at the same time, he doesn't have much quality in the squad, especially when one of your key guys in Rafinha is going out. You're picking for scraps, and Endrick is one of those scraps. But Ancelotti, this is not his fault. He came in late as well. This is a whole 4-year project. That's why Brazil extended him to the next World Cup. And they're going to stay with him. They better keep him, because that's the only hope. Brazilian managers are not good enough. Ancelotti is one of the best managers of all time. If Brazil are going to win this World Cup, they need to give him time. He needs to fully adopt his philosophy. The players need to improve too. Development of players like Endrick, Ryan. There are some youngsters in this team. Midfielders, there needs to be a midfielder that comes up in the ranks as well, because the midfield quality, Bruno Guimaraes was one of the best players in this tournament, but Casemiro has been shocking, and quite frankly, he doesn't have anything else. He has no other option, so, there needs to be a development among the players, but Ancelotti was not the problem as well, and I'm going to go with Neymar, okay. So in this game, I think, man, Neymar. Should Neymar be in this Brazil squad? Probably not. But does Brazil owe Neymar a spot at this World Cup? Absolutely. Neymar has done everything, put his body on the line for this Brazil team, and he's accomplished a lot, despite never winning a World Cup, despite not even winning a Copa America. What he did in the Confederations Cup at 20 years old, 21 years old, dragging that team. The Olympic Games as well, dragging that team to their first Olympic gold medal, dragged them. Neymar in the 2014 World Cup, he led them to the semifinal before he had his back taken out by a Colombian player. Almost was paralyzed for this Brazil team. Didn't get to play in that semifinal where they got knocked out. Is that Neymar's fault? Okay, let's go even later. Let's go later on. Let's go actually to the World Cup qualifiers as well, where he got injured 3 years ago. Neymar again gets injured playing for his country yet again. The injury that took him out, he was playing in a World Cup qualifier. Obviously he could have released the ball quicker, but that's how he broke his tibia, fibula, all that shit. Because he was playing for his country again. Neymar has put his body, put everything on the line for Brazil. And these players, how do they pay him back in this game? In a penultimate game to reach the quarterfinals, they let Erling Haaland drag his nuts across the entire team. We let Neymar down. And a guy that's given so much for this Brazilian national team, just let him down in the biggest stage. And I didn't like Neymar's antics at the end. He scores the penalty. It becomes 2-1. That goalkeeper was giving him shit before the kick. He makes the kick and he goes and he starts talking to him like, there's 1 minute, 2 minutes left. Go get the ball and run. But that's like, there's the good and positives of there's the positives and negatives of Neymar, and we saw it in that game as well. And honestly, I wasn't a fan of it. I was very, very disappointed it is. But, it is what it is. Neymar is going home. Brazil is going home. They all deserve it. No, Neymar doesn't deserve it. Brazil deserves it. Neymar, it's a devastating end to a transcendent career. He'll still go down as one of the best Brazilian players of all time, but if he had that World Cup, it would have elevated his status to a certain extent, despite the lack of impact he would have had. So, but yeah, honestly, I'm just so disappointed in all different facets of this one. It's not embarrassing, but it's disappointing, and it's another 4 years of pure and utter trauma.